Okay, gone live as promised yesterday for some basics for beginners on the xBrat stocks Predator. So bear with me a second, as I just need to put the link in one of the groups that I was in yesterday. So bear with me a second. I've got to find it on YouTube. Okay, and then bear with me a second. Okay. Okay, so let's get the chat up there. Bear with me a sec, guys. Okay. Okay, so another day, another dollar, and the stocks Predator. I want to go through some of the functionalities to allow beginners to understand the power, but how some of the simple rules. And again, you're not going to be left alone with this type of software. You know, the community is going to build, and I will be there, especially in Dubai. You know, we will probably look at meetups, but I will support those people as well, especially the beginners. We're going to have a community. It's a closed community on our Discord server for Stocks Predators users, and I will be current. I'll do live streams. I'm going to help people learn how to do that. So first of all, I just want to go through a couple of stocks that I was looking at the beginning of the week and how well they're doing. So first of all, my UK stocks to watch. There was a couple on their 3i group. Again, when I looked at this beginning of the week, my entry was at this point where this green is here. I talked about that we'd got full confluence. And the whole idea of that app is to scan thousands and thousands of stocks worldwide, US, UK, India, Germany, that sort of thing, to try and find those ones are in confluence. And by confluence, I mean that all the stars are aligned and the direction is confirmed, and that strength of that directional flow to the upside is there. Again, for options traders, we can look at shorts as well, but right now I'm just going to go for the basics for people. So, you know, when I was looking at that live, I said, you know, we needed to get in around about this price, and this is where it closed yesterday. So really, really good. Marks and Spencer's not looked at that update today, actually. Let it just load up. So yesterday, again, we made more highs yesterday, and that was the entry breaker through there. So we got the confluence, and then we go long. It's as simple as that. You know, so let's go back to the end of day scanner. So what we're looking for is confluence between three technical indicators to begin with, and then we're going to increase those confluences, those traffic lights, if you like. And that's where we find the really strong potential stocks. And there's some things that there's some simple steps that we do to do that. And I'm going to keep doing live streams like this and going through that process. That simple, you know, it's not a multi-step process, just things to look for and to do. And it's about sort of building that confidence. So first thing, I want to look at this confluence and look at the filters, and I want 3 green. I'm only interested in those. So these, out of those 4,930 stocks, and we're adding to them all the time, these are the only ones that are all green. Okay, so that narrows that search down, and then we need to look at these stocks and there. So Uber's on there. Let's have a look at Uber. Not looked at Uber for quite a while. So Uber's got a 4-star buy there. So when we talk, one of the indicators that we look for is the xBrat algo, and that grades trades or potential signals 3, 4, 5, 6 stars. 6 stars like a star hotel, 5-star, 4-star. So it's early on in the move, good potential move, but there's things we've got to look at with Uber. So some of the simple tasks that we do, and again, I'm going to repeat this so many times because this is what you need to do. We see the D here. That means that it's on a daily time frame. So each one of these candles is a day. The stock market opens, it has a high, it has a low, and it has a close. And that's all that candle represents. An open, a close, a high, and a low. But now if we change that to 1 week, we can start to put what I call operational landscapes on the chart to understand sort of a wider view of where we are and where there's going to be trouble ahead, if you like. So first of all, I can see here there's a pivot, and there's a pivot here and a pivot there. So for me, at this point, all I got to do is go onto my drawing tool, and I've got to connect the dots, okay? I've connected the top pivot and these 2 bottom pivots. I won't go into what type of chart pattern is or anything like that. That is some major resistance. That is a point, a price, a range of price where there could be selling, okay, some profit taking. So we don't want to trade into there. We need to make sure we've got enough room to make some money before we get to that point. Simple as that. Where are we in terms of support? Let's just zoom out a little bit, and we can see we do have a bit of support down here, but not a great deal on this weekly. So I'm more interested in what room have we got up above, and that's where we are now. So I'm going to go back to the daily. So remember, we've got this resistance to go into. We've had some small moves. You see where we've had this confluence in the past, even this recent past here, where we down at this heat map, sort of yellow and green here. But as soon as we get this confluence, we've got the green triangle, we've got the 6-star buy, and we've got all green. It failed at that point. So it was a decent trade. And this little line here shows it was profitable, but it's a swing trade. It's not really, a longer term investment. That was on probably a month. So, you would have bought around about $70 and got out about $81. That's not a bad trade. It was in 6-7 days, one of what we call a swing trade. But in reality, we're looking for longer term moves. And right now we've got a 4-star buy. We've got the green triangle from a different type of strategy, and we've got all green. So we've got a lot of confluence, but we've just got no fresh air to trade into. We're not really, that shouldn't be on our watch list. There's too much danger ahead. There's confluence there, and it may be a very short-term type of swing trade, but it's not really what we're after. We're after something with a lot more fresh air. So the job is to go through these filters, and we don't get that many a day. We'll look at the International Tower, mines. We can see. I can just. I'm going to go through the process just to show you that on this weekly we have major resistance at this point here. I'm joining the dots. I'm identifying the danger zone. If we can get through that danger zone, this is very cheap, by the way, the next bit of sort of danger really for profit taking and selling is all the way up there. So there's quite a bit of room if it pushes through there. No, not really trending right now. When I look at the daily again, I'm going through, I can see we have the green triangle, which is what we call a roller coaster signal. We have the xBrat algo 6-star buy. We have all 6 time frames on this buyer's depth. So we've got full confluence. We've got good momentum. I'm not really interested until we close above this point here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on my watch list. So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to add it to my main watch list. Okay, so it's there. So any work I do on this now, it's saved on there. What I'm really interested in is a close above this 81 cents, just there. Okay, that's what I'm interested in. Let's change that to green so we can see that a little better, maybe. And we'll go that dashed line. So really, that's what I'm interested in, to sort of buy if we get a close above there. So we've got lots of time. It doesn't move a lot every day, and it's got some major trouble to move through and close above before we can make a decision. But then we've got a nice bit of fresh air all the way up to there. And this is that process to go through all the time. So this is on my watch list now, so I can check it at the end of every day. And if we do get a push and a close from up there, this is a good buy. Very cheap stock as well. You know, buy $500 of this. And, you know, when we get up to this point, we can sell and take profit. NGD is next. Is this a potential for my watch list? So I can understand where we are. I've got full confluence, 3 out of 3 on the green. If I just move that slightly there, that's good. Quite happy with that. Let's go to the weekly, follow the same process every time. Have I got fresh air? Well, actually, it's near the highs, I think. Let's have a quick look. Okay. Oh, no. Okay. So good job. We scrunch up and we look left, see where those previous pivots are and where's those highs. So we have got a previous high at this point here. That's a long way away in reality. So let's put our operational landscape together. We've got a pivot in here and a pivot there. We're joining the dots again to give us where the next bit of resistance is. Okay. One thing I also like to look at is if we're in a reasonably long-term trend. So this found these lows at this point here, and you know we were going sideways, but this point here is it's a relatively good trend. I can actually look at that trend, and again we'll talk about this in future sessions. But you know, when I start to look at a trend channel, and if it's respecting that longer term, I like to see where those confluences are and where they intersect, and have I got enough room to actually do this trade. So what I'm going to do, I've put that in there now. Basically, if there's any engineers out there, this is the line of best fit. What we're trying to do is look for a major trend with pivots at this top point, but really what I'm interested in is loads of confluence around this center line. If we really zoom in here, we can see this is the line of best fit. We come down, we test, we come up, we test again, we test again, we come down, we come up, we come down. This center line really gives us that trend. And we're back in this trend channel right now. Not a lot of room up above, but that's on the weekly. Let's go to the daily, and we can see now, actually, we have got a little bit of space, but not a lot. This one probably gets discounted from our list because we've gone ahead, we've looked left, we've put that support in. There's a bit of room up there, but not enough for a trade. I could be interested if this pushes up through here, but that's probably quite a lot of work for it to do. But I can put it on my watch list. I can right click and I can add it to my main watch list here. Or I can actually make another watch list. I can create a watch list and go, I can call it anything. Longer term burns. Okay, and I'll create that watch list. Success, it's created, and then I can look at this and I can add this to my longer term burns. Okay, so I'll probably look at that once a week, and you know, because again it's reasonably cheap, there could be good growth in it, but it's got a lot of work to do. Let's have a look at this next stock. So I'm working through this shortened list from nearly 5,000 stocks, and it's shortened these to all that. So I just move that again to remind you I'm all 3 traffic lights green. Okay, think of these as the starting grid of the Formula One race. As they start to line up, there's more confluence, and we're ready to go. So let's just move that and make that chart bigger. Again, it's identified. We've got the green arrow, the 6-star buy, and all 6 green. The first thing we do, click on D, change it to a week. let's put our operational landscape together and see where we are. Okay, in this situation, let's have a look. We've got this high pivot, let's join the dots, and this high pivot here. Okay, that's some potential resistance up above. I don't think we've probably got something here, but I'd rather look at that on the daily. What I'm interested in right now is on this weekly from July 2024, when we rejected that point quite a lot. I just want to explain what a candle is. Okay, so if it's red, it's a down candle, so it's closed lower than the open. The body, the top of the body is the open, the bottom of the body is the close because it's red. This massive line up here is called a wick. That shows the price during that week really went up, but it rejected at that price, and there was lots of profit taken, and it came all the way down to close lower, and that was the catalyst for it to come down to this point now. So that's where we are on the weekly. But interestingly, we can see this is almost like a trend channel in its own. It's like a downward channel. So we can join the dots again. Okay, this is where we are, I think. If we go here, it's shorter term, but we can see if we just adjust this slightly, the center line is more what I'm looking for here. Touches here and here, here. So if it breaks out of there, which it's doing right now, there's a good potential move to the upside. So again, let's go to the daily. We can see we're outside of that channel now. Let's have a look at those pivots to join, those points to join for that daily, which I usually use a different color. I use gray. So again, look at this. 1, 2, loads of clustering, 3. Really good. So let's change that color to gray. So we need fresh air to that point, because this could cause a little bit of problems in the near future. So this is good. So now what we're going to do is, have we got enough room? And I use a simple tool for this to see what the risk to reward is. Now, I'm just going to do this briefly, but again, we'll do some more lessons on this, but it's called Fibonacci. Don't worry about it. We'll just use trend-based fib extension. And what we're looking at, where would our stop be? In reality, when we're working out risk reward, this recent low pivot here is, if it comes down below there, we need to get out and take a loss. Okay, and that can happen. And this is where we are right now. There is a pivot just here. I'd probably like to be above there. Okay, so we're 1-to-1 to that zone. So if we risk $1,000 here, the potential is to win profit of $1,000 at that point. Okay, cheap stock as well. That's not bad. Let's just get rid of that a second. So in reality now, where's our start point? Where am I interested in buying this stock? So again, I'm looking at recent pivot here. It rejected at that point. We are out of this channel now, but I want to make sure it's just above there. So 144 is my start line. Basically, what I can do over the next sort of few weeks, and again, as we gather more and more users for this, really sophisticated software and scanning tool, is to sort of do some lessons and some live streaming and answer questions, basically looking at how you would put what type of order on for this on your brokerage platform. In something like this, we what's called a stop market order. So it's like, I want to buy this stock if it hits this price. Yeah, I'm not interested unless it gets to this starting point. And that's what we call a stop market order. And again, once you open a brokerage account with Interactive Brokers or something like that, those orders are pretty self-explanatory, and we can help guide you through those sort of things. But what I'm saying is, this is my start point. I want to buy this stock if it gets to 144. It could turn back around at this pivot point at 143. It's done it before. Okay, so we could make that a little bigger and say, do you know what, 145. Let's just be quite conservative with that entry. So that's how we would do that. And I'm going to add this to my main watch list because that's something I need to keep an eye on. FMX is the next one. Okay, even though it says Mexico, it's listed on the US stock exchange. So this is interesting, actually. It has been in a very downward trend for quite a while here, and now we're pushing up. This looks quite interesting. So let's put it on the weekly. Let's get our main points of control, if you like. I can see when I'm joining the dots, I can see all of these pivots on the left here. I can see these pivots just here, and that is major support that's held. It's been support here before, and then resistance here, and then it's pushed through. So that's good. I'm just going to change that to pink because we are on the weekly. Okay, so I'm going through the same process again. Have we got any weekly zones near where we are? I think we've got one here. We've got to be careful of this pivot here. It's a very narrow. Is that narrow there? Okay. Let's just move that along a little bit. So let's zoom in and look at those. So at this point, we were on a really what we call a bullish move. So it was really good strength. But then we had a little pullback at that price. So traders made a decision to take profit at that point. It wasn't a deep and steep pullback. It was a couple of months, but it's a relevant price for the future. And that happened again here when this tried to recover from this bearish move, this sell-off. It tried to push up, and again, it failed at the same point. So we need to be aware that that could happen. That's around $120. We're at 103 right now, so there's quite a lot of room there. We can see actually on the weekly, we have actually got confluence as well. We've got 6-star buy, roller coaster, and all 6 time frames green on the time frame. So we've not just got confluence on the daily time frame, we've got confluence on the weekly time frame. We've got a really good potential trade here. So let's go back to that daily, and we can see here now we've got quite a bit of room up there. This is, this is pretty good. We can see when it hit this big support around 82.50 in the middle of there, we had a nice bullish move. We've had some pullbacks, and a lot of that is to do with Trump tariffs. Okay, so that happens, but now we're recovering really quickly, and we're almost going back into this sort of growth spurt, if you like, a bullish move. So what I'm going to do is just going to go back to my parallel channels. I'm going to put this line on there, and then I'm going to look. This is quite a narrow channel. I just need to move that out a little bit, get my points of control. But this has had a big recovery from Trump tariffs, okay? And now we would see the behavior probably coming up and down in this until we get to around $117, $120. So there's quite a bit of room up here. Again, look at this rejection pivot, okay? I'm just going to highlight that with an ellipse, okay? That candle there. So what happened here is the open, because it's a green candle, the open was right at the bottom. It went all the way up and then rejected those highs, but closed above the open. But it was still enough of a catalyst to come back down. So we need to make sure we're clear of that before we're ready to go, because going in too early may just get the same result. So let's clear that sort of near and present danger, if you like, and say, you know what, I'd like to get in this stock around about that price, 105.42. Okay. Risk reward's about 1-to-1 again, and again we have got potential to the upside here. So if I go back to the weekly, just on my dinner, we've got $145 in this. So when this is the sort of stock that I've seen really good bullish moves in here previously in 2023. We've had this big correction coming down, some profit taking, started to really rebound. Trump tariffs upset it a little bit, but there is some good sort of potential if it can push through here. some good potential, we can make it risk-free. And again, as we start to build up that watch list and certain trades and build that community, you can say, Paul, I'm in FMX. I got in at $106. We're at 120 now. It's in that resistance. Should I get out? There's nothing wrong with taking profit, but there's also nothing wrong with actually making it risk-free. So if it does come back on you, you don't lose any money, or you take slightly less profit, but you give it chance to move. And that's one of the things when we are investing and trading, is giving things chance to move. So this looks good. I'm really interested in that. Where's that live right now? 104.7. Okay. Okay, so it's getting close. So that will go onto my main watch list, and that's something I'll keep an eye on. Okay. EQX is next. 2 more to go. Okay. Quite a cheap stock. This is probably not an investing stock. It's more like an options trading stock. I just want to look on the weekly a second. And again, those beginners won't be looking for options trading. However, there's a bit of room up here from those previous highs. And this is why, as a point of call straight away, we go straight to that weekly and we look where the danger is. Pivots here, probably more interested, yeah, to these here. And then obviously we have some major congestion all the way up there, 1332 in the middle. Not really a bullish choice. You know, these hit those lows in October 22, and it's been meandering on up. Okay, but gold's doing quite well at the moment. Okay, so these gold producers are making good profits and good money. Is it enough for us to trade? Not sure. Let's go back to that daily. Let's have, and just look left a little bit here, and we can see there's some, we're above. So I'm just going to put those in. I'm going to join the dots again. It's dot to dot. Okay, I'm going to join those dots here, turn it into gray, and then just zoom in and talk through it. So what we have here is we pushed up, lots of selling. Okay, we did that again, lots of selling. We did it again, lots of selling. At this stage then, we did push through. It came back and clustered around there and bounced off. We came back down again. We've pushed through. So this is the Trump pullback, if you like, and this is the rebound, which is very, very strong. And again, another gold company here, so very, very strong. Have we got room for this to move? We've got quite a bit of room, to be honest, all the way up to $8.50. You'll make $1 a share, but you know, buy 1,000 shares at $7,337 right now. You'll make $1,000 when it gets to that, if it gets to that point. So where are we live with that right now? We've actually come down a little bit today at 707. I do notice gold futures that have come down since the IMF was speaking today. And again, all of this sort of data points, things that could react and everything like that. Part of our sort of Discord community, the one that's going to be locked just for Stocks Predator users, is for me to update you on things like that. Been doing this 30 years now, so you know, it's just second nature. Updating, community helps each other. So there could be an opportunity, but I think in reality there's probably better stocks to go. But I'm going to keep it on my main watch list, because if I get a break of 742, I wouldn't mind trading that to $8.50. That's over $1 a share. And if I buy $5,000, that's $5,000 profit. That, you know, that's just sort of basic, but I think that might be the case with this uncertainty at the moment. Gold's doing well, so gold producers are doing well. So I'm going to add that to my main watch list. And then one more. Don't like this one straight away, but we'll have a look. This is another mining company. There is some room up above, but we have on the weekly, massive pivots here. So let's change that to pink, or is that the same? I'm going to discount that big top pivot here. I'm going to join those two there, because that's where in reality we'll have some selling. And we go back to the daily, just following the same process all the time. It's not rocket science. I am not going to go long into this resistance. However, the slow burner in me would like a close above here, above 781, take us to $11. That's a pretty good trade or investment, because that could take quite a while to get there. So this is going to go on my my long-term burns, okay, my watch list. Okay, so I've gone through those. I've if I just take that filter off, there was 4,930 stocks now listing, and some of those are London stocks, some of those are German stocks. But when I hit there for free green, that's what it is. We can build dynamic watch lists as well. So when the scan happens overnight, it basically populates those confluences. So I built these watch lists, and there's videos to show you how to do that. So I could look for sort of 2 out of 3 on the confluence. So where are we right now with that? Lots more stocks, lots more potential. Again, I can sort of filter some of these things, but let's just have a look at a couple. There's 78 of them that are close or close enough. So let's just go to change that to 100, and then I can go down some ETFs in there. So look at EWG ETF. ETF chart looks a little bit different because it's a bit gappy. Not a great deal of room up to 39.40 from where we are. That's not a good looking potential trade. German stock there. Let's have a look. Oh, there's an Indian stock there. Let's have a look at this. Okay, so we do have a lot of Indian investors and traders, not just Indian buy, but throughout. I mean, I actually have done some work on this. So this is quite a cool looking trade for those that trade on the Indian stock market. I mean, the confluences were quite a while ago. It has sort of, you missed the opportunity in reality because the entry was at 1,203 rubles or whatever it is. So, but 1,500 target, it's still got some room to play. And that is a really good looking trade for those that look at the Indian stock market. I mean, that is a perfect example of coming down to test that weekly support, getting the first green arrow, getting the 5-star buy, then getting the 6-star buy, and all 6 time frames going green. That looks very, very good. Okay. Again, that should be on the those that are trading Indian stocks. German stock here as well, GBF. Is this tradable? So we'll look at the weekly, again, doing the same thing. It's near the highs, I think. I don't think we've had anything where we are now. No. Okay. Very high growth stock. We can see on the weekly as an investment, this confluence came in January. Yeah, January 2025. Okay. So only a few months ago. And this sort of buy was around about 49.81, and we're at 69.40 now. That is a good bit of investment. That's been on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 weeks, going strong again. Have we got room? We've got to see these as the highs. So these are the all-time highs. So if we're gonna, we are a bit late into this now, and again, this came up on the conference meter back then, but now we've got these highs to contend with, and they're very, very close to where we are now. So this isn't a great trading opportunity. It was, okay? But again, with the stocks predator, it's just literally half an hour a day. Looking at those scan results, tailoring them down, being part of the community, and looking for the ones that fit your risk criteria. If I go to my, where are we? My crypto watch list, okay, take off the filters. There's a few here that I had on my crypto watch list with Solana, for example. So it's not just stocks for crypto enthusiasts. No, this is potential, but there's no green down here. So there we go. Go back to my early mover watch list. So this one, I had FEIM and FGBI. So these went on when there was only one green. Okay, so FEIM has gone to 2 green. Okay, so I'm still waiting for it to go through that start line. Okay, so this is building up for a pop, and there's a lot of room up above here to $24. You see it will move up in this channel. So I'm still waiting for this. This actually is now going to go to my main watch list, purely because now we're 2 out of 3. So it's building that momentum. So I'm going to move it from my early movers, and I'm going to add to my main watch list. Okay, I am going to remove it from here, and then I'm going to go to my main watch list. Okay, so this is building up quite nicely. Walmart was put on a little while ago. Is that ready? No. Okay, so I was waiting for it to come into this sort of channel, and it's not happened yet. There's a couple more. FMX is another one I was looking at. Again, that's that Mexican stock we just discussed earlier. HWKN has been on there a little while. Something you would just, I mean, that's gone. Okay, this is the work that I did. We had the confluence at this point here, and that is gone, and that is in. Okay, really strong, and I'm looking to take profit at $135. GAW, another one. Again, we talked about that today. Where's one that we haven't discussed? And EMX is another one. So this one is creeping up. This is the one that we want to get through at that point there. So again, this is my, I'm going to concentrate and look at that confluence scan every day. The ones that interest me, and I'm going through that same process of going to the weekly, joining the dots, making sure there's fresh air. If there's no fresh air, throw it away, go to the next one. It's not a lot of work. And again, we're trying to build that community. Hey, Richard, how you doing? Just saw you in the chat there. Yeah. So India emerging markets, there are some fantastic opportunities in there. And most international brokers will allow you to buy on different markets, whether it's German, UK, Indian, US markets. If you've got a good broker that is international, like Interactive Brokers or something like that, they will allow you to purchase stocks anywhere, basically, which is fantastic. Calm is another one I was looking at. That's not gone yet. This is the one I discounted purely because that risk to reward I was looking at was less than 1-to-1. So what I need to do now is remove Calm. That's failed my test, if you like. I've just got Apple on there. I'm not really looking at that right now. And that I've only got 12 stocks on my watch list now. One thing you can do is put I can literally create another one and put live trades or live. I'm going to do this properly. So we're going to put live swing trades, create, and then I'm going to put, I'm going to do another one, live investments. So the difference between an investment and a swing trade. So a swing trade typically could last between 7, 30, 60 days, whereas a longer term investment, once that momentum starts to go, you're most likely to hold on to those shares. And if you do get a pullback slightly, wait for that, do the work, look at the confluences, wait for the right opportunity to add some more to that stock, and then you'll keep going. Differences, but again, we can look in those. So go back to that end of day scanner again. This time I'm just going to look at the one greens. So these are my potential early movers. I can look at asset classes, for example. I can just say, do you know what, is there any ETFs? I'm more interested in ETFs. Is there any ETFs that are sort of getting fixed, ready to go? These are my sort of potential burners. So this is another one, Treasury Bond ETF on the Spider. Those pivots up there are quite close, actually. If we go to the weekly, we'll see it more. We can see here, if we join those dots there, those tops, if you like, there's not a lot of room left in this one, so we're not interested in that. There's one in India, mid cap NS. Okay, that's pulled up that. Actually, let's go to the daily, see where we are on the daily. Just loading up the data. Okay. We can see these are the highs on this. So this is listed on the Indian stock exchange, an ETF. So right now it's a slow burner in that we've only got one green, purely because we've not got a lot of confirmation on this. It's quite a new ETF, and this is why this is not all green, because it can't look far enough back. This is only launched a year ago, okay? But from a risk spread point of view, this is a good, I think in reality, I'm looking for 2 out of 3 here. I'm looking for that 5 or 6 star buy from that xBrat algo, and I'll go 2 out of green. I'm not going to get 3 out of 3 purely because it's too new. But in reality, I'm going to actually add this to my main watch list. And I'm really interested if we can get in and around that sort of price, 152 bucks or 100, sorry, it's in India, so rupees. So if we can get to that sort of price and I'm getting a 6 star buy, and again, I'll look at this just at the end of every day, I would be interested in actually getting some of this. I want some exposure to India, and this could be a good way of doing that because it's an ETF. It looks at the mid-cap stocks in the Indian stock market, and there's a lot of room for growth there, from 152 bucks to 172 bucks rupees. So this is a really great opportunity to spread the risk. It's not an individual stock, it's a group of stocks in an ETF, and there's a lot of room up to $172. That's a good find. Let's do one more. SCO. That's come back down again. No. PAL. Okay. Physical palladium. Okay. Some rare, precious metal type thing. Well, the weekly, I mean, that looks ugly. Okay, that is ugly. There is major resistance. See the pivot here, and the pivot here, and then that support down there. So why I've taken that a little further left is this sort of hung around there for quite a while. Came down, tested it from below, then came down again. That's tested it from below again. So this is on the weekly. This is where we need to understand that. There's quite a lot of room up there actually. It's pretty gappy, but for this one, it'll go on my early movers list. Not interested in that just yet. I want to see what occurs with that heat map underneath. I don't need any red in it whatsoever. I do need a xBrat algo signal, and then I've got to really clear all of this noise here around about $94. So, early mover list, that one. Okay, that's not shareable. What people do is use this pays dividends. It's what we call a dividend type ETF. where it goes, it gaps down when they pay the dividends, it goes again, gaps down, it pays the dividends. You wait for that cycle, wait for it to pay the dividends, come back down again to buy it, and then it just pays you dividends. It's not the sort of thing I want to get into today. And then one more. Okay. Nothing there that's going to excite me. I've got my watch list. So before I go, is there any questions? I don't know how many people's watching what we're live on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. No idea of audience size really. But again, one of the reasons I made, because I made an announcement in dads in a group, Facebook group for dads here, and a lot of people are interested, but they're total newbies. And I wanted to go through this same process over and over again. What you do, scan happens, look at the confluence, you say, right, I'm only interested in full confluence, so 3 green, they're the ones I look at. You look at each one in turn, go to the weekly, put the zones on, see if there's fresh air, and look for that. And then asking the community, do you think this is good? Don't be on your own. With the Discord community, we're just starting to put it together. So it will be in our, what we call, if we come up here, we have our trading floors. So we have trading chat, futures, stocks, ETS, banter, automated trading. But here we've started this closed forum for the Stocks Predator users, and we'll start to add people there in the next day or so, those that have already got it, and then those that come in the future will go in there. And it's all about sharing your ideas from the scan results, asking those questions and not being alone. I will be very active in there as well. So unless there's any questions, I'm ready to go, because it's what time it is here. It's 19:48, so time for me to relax for the day. But hopefully that helps. There will be a link down in the description to the Stocks Predator, but it's a very, very powerful tool. I'm also going to put the link in there to the playlist on YouTube, because we're going to start to grow that. And then there's obviously, I'll try and do these live streams once or twice a week, if that, if not more, to try and help people to be able to identify and how to use this. The technology behind it is extremely complex. But in reality, the scan goes, you put the filter on, you go through the stocks, and you identify those that are looking good. And we've done that process today. We've put those, we've gone to the weekly, we've put that areas of danger on, we've identified a good price that we'd be interested in getting into this stock once we've cleared that present danger. And that's all we need to do. And then share it with the community. Most people agree, yeah, this is good, thanks, Bob, go. Okay, if you need help, actually trying to figure out those orders and stuff, share screens, and we'll help you with that as well. It's not an issue. It's very simple. Yes, I've been doing it 30 years, but these brokers now are very, very easy to use once you've done that. Okay, that's it for now. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon.